You just don't have any idea how it's going to work out. We don't, they don't. That's what makes it so exciting here at Talladega Superspeedway. But we're about to find out. Here they come down to the line. 6 laps to go in the Fred's 250. They are stacked up, and you know everybody is fired up here at Talladega Superspeedway. Green flag is in the air. Jason White, Kurt Busch, they push on the inside lane heading to turn 1.
The advantage to the outside lane. The Red Horse Racing teammates, Timothy Peters, shoving Parker Kligerman up the outside lane, but back comes the inside lane now. Jason White with help from Kurt Busch. 3 wide to the outside. Ty Dillon beginning to roll.
Ty Dillon now starting to make some hay as he has come from the back of the pack. He's got drafting help, and they are slicing through that field up front. Wheel to wheel for the lead. White and Kligerman. Now White gets the advantage down low.
Here comes Kligerman. Here comes Peters behind them. Everybody trying to find a drafting partner that they can hook up and work with. Jason White's got one. It's Kurt Busch. White to the lead off turn number 4.
You almost had to know that Kurt Busch was going to, if he could find a good drafting partner, that he's going to be up there running for the win. Here they come down to the line with some 5 laps remaining to be run. It is Jason White at the front of the field with a good help from Kurt Busch. I mean, they have opened up actually maybe 4 or 5 car lengths over in turn 2.
Another flat right rear tire for Ron Hornaday. He limps down toward the garage area as he gets to turn 3, front of the pack. Jason White, Kurt Busch, and indeed 5 truck lengths back.
They have broken away, but that could spell bad news once everybody gets reorganized, gets regrouped, and makes their last-minute push to the front. Like Kligerman, like Peters, like others now as they stack it up trying to make some hay and get back to the pole.
Johnny Sauter is in that mix as well. James Busher is there. Tim George Jr. is there. So is Herman Quiroga. He's come all the way to 4th. They race back to the Tri-Oval.
Up front, though, Jason White and Kurt Busch, they are leading the way and still have a big gap in front of everybody else, probably larger than anyone else has built up here this afternoon. But quickly chasing them down is Parker Kligerman. He's there with Timothy Peters, working back into turn 1.
Kligerman is there. Peters is there as they continue to run. Now up the bank. Up the banking. They're going to make the run. Kligerman jumps to the outside lane. Johnny Sauter's going to go with him. Here comes Parker Kligerman. He's all the way to second spot.
Timothy Peters, his teammate, leaves him high and dry. And meanwhile, in the extreme outside line, 3 wide, James Busher, Ty Dillon. They take the lead off the end of the back straightaway.
And now Jason White has got it back hooked up with Kurt Busch. Here they come now, trying to rally back on the inside, but the 2 leaders cross over, diving down to the bottom of the racetrack. It's Busher, it's Ty Dillon. They go 1-2 this time by.
James Busher leads the way back into the Tri-Oval. They come charging back to the start-finish line with 3 laps remaining. They made a dramatic move to the outside of the track. Busher and Ty Dillon, now they have the top 2 spots.
The 2 championship point leaders, Dillon and Busher, working together to get to the front of the pack, but this one is not over yet. Here's Jason White, right down on the bottom of the yellow line in the 3rd spot. Drafting help from Kurt Busch moving up.
The outside lane led by Parker Kligerman, trying to regain the ground that he lost last time through. He's got Johnny Sauter on his tailgate. Ryan Blaney is there. So is Miguel Paludo, but they need more help topside.
The leaders right down in the bottom of the racetrack. That's James Busher. Behind him, Ty Dillon. Then Jason White. Then Kurt Busch. Top 4, single file. The racing side by side from 5th on back.
There's at least 8 and maybe 10 trucks that have a shot to win this race, depending on what happens when they try to get a drafting partner to stay with them all the way around the racetrack. Here they are crossing the line. We're down to 2 laps to go. Busher is in front. Ty Dillon's got back up there in second, but can he stay there?
Outside lane beginning to climb again. Here's Parker Kligerman with drafting help from Johnny Sauter. Still no better than 5th, 6th, 7th position right now, but beginning to make some hay in that high lane.
Time is precious at Talladega. It's time to make something happen. Somebody's got to step out here and make their way to the front. Kligerman, no, gets a shove from Sauter. Kligerman up the outside lane. Parker Kligerman, an inch out in front, leading at Dega.
James Busher downstairs. You've got Kligerman topside, wheel to wheel off turn number 4. Coming to the white flag. It's Busher and Kligerman, and drafting help for both.
Kligerman trying to get it hooked up on the outside lane. He's got plenty of drafting help, but same is the case down on the inside for James Busher. Ty Dillon right up on his tailgate. White flag is out at the line. It is Parker Kligerman showing the way. Can he hold him off?
Kligerman and Johnny Sauter will cross over to the bottom of the racetrack. They break away now by 5 truck lengths. Austin Dillon rides into number 3 position. They're banging in the back of the pack. Sparks are flying. One truck sideways. Everybody gets away to the back chute.
They are 5, they are 6 wide, and now they get turned. Justin Lofton gets turned to the inside of the racetrack. Now here's Matt Crafton, Rick Crawford. The entire back of the pack explodes here in Talladega as Parker Kligerman leads off the end of the back straightaway.
Johnny Sauter is right with them. They work off turn number 4 for the final time.
Coming to the yellow flag here at Talladega Superspeedway, and as has been the case the last couple of years in a row, we're going to go into overtime here this afternoon because we had the crash there coming up off turn number 2. So they come down to the line. Checkered flag is waving, actually, and Parker Kligerman is going to the victory here this afternoon. And indeed, that's the case. They'd already taken the white flag. And so, yeah, Parker Kligerman will pick up the win. We told you he had been runner-up 5 times and finally scores the win here today, coming back from all kinds of adversity. Johnny Sauter will finish second. It's James Busher, Ty Dillon, and Ryan Blaney, the top 5. Let's go to Alex Hayden on pit road.
Chad Kendrick is down here. Chad, congratulations, an outstanding win. He's getting high fives all the way around, but he's getting mobbed by his team right now. We'll let him continue to celebrate. He mentioned earlier this is the same truck that won Daytona, a different driver in John King, but this time Parker Kligerman, after joining Red Horse Racing just a few races back, are headed to victory lane at Talladega.
All right, let's check back again with Mike Bagley where the big crash took place there on that white flag lap.
Yeah, Joe, it started off turn number 2. They were beating and banging at the back of the pack. They were 5 and 6 wide. Something had to give, and all of a sudden Justin Lofton came spinning out of that pack of traffic. His truck spun to the inside of the racetrack. Safety crews on the scene tending to him. Also, David Starr getting a piece. Rick Crawford as well got some of that. Matt Crafton as well got swept up. We had about a dozen trucks that got a piece of this action in one form or fashion as Parker Kligerman led the field off the end of the back straightaway. And virtually the back half of the pack just exploded with trucks spinning left and right and debris shedding everywhere.
Typical Talladega racing. We'll be back in a minute. We are back at the Talladega Superspeedway, a wild finish here, as it always is when you come to this racetrack. Parker Kligerman will be celebrating down in victory lane. We'll get his thoughts a little bit later. Right now, let's see if we can catch up with the 4 guys who finished inside the top 5.
With Johnny Sauter, Barney Hart just talking about it's a wild finish. Take us through those last couple of laps from your perspective and you getting back to the front and pushing Parker.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, proud of everybody at ThorSport. This Hot Honey's Curb Records Toyota didn't qualify very good. We were 29th and just didn't have any speed. And I don't know what it is about these Toyotas, but they just draft really, really well. And you know, we were fast at Daytona even though we didn't qualify good. And today here, you know, it was just kind of a chess match, you know, back and forth, back and forth. I was really hoping to get to work with my teammate Crafton there, and the opportunity just never came up. So I felt like I was in the golden seat there. I had Parker pushed out pretty far and knew that I could come down to the finish line here and step out and get by him. But nonetheless, I'm proud of everybody at ThorSport. It's a good effort, and happy for Parker. I like to see guys that get shuffled out at places come back and have success, so he deserves it.
That's the thoughts of Johnny Sauter. He comes home second. Swing back to Steve Post.
Well, James Busher back here, 3rd place run, James. The point battle rages on here. Unofficially, we've got you still at a 1-point disadvantage. But first off, the relief at getting out of Talladega with a top 5 finish.
Well, we came in 1 point out. We both led a lap. I don't know who led the most or how that's all going to work out. But we're within one, whether it's tied, one behind or one ahead. I don't really know. But we got 3 races left, and you know, it seems like everywhere we are on the racetrack, the 3's right next to us. So it's going to be a heck of a championship battle. And it was a heck of a last lap, or second to last lap, but it came out being the last lap. Coming to the white flag, you know, we were pushing through the tri-oval, and those guys were on the outside. And when you get in the very bottom lane through the tri-oval pushing like that, it gets pretty sketchy. And I was sideways. I thought I was going to lose it, but I held on to it and got the spot back. The 17 picked us up off 2 and was able to drive back up there to the front. So awesome race here at Talladega. I got to thank everybody at Turner Motorsports and Kawicki Aronson for being on board with us, and XI Batteries, AccuDoc Solutions, everybody that makes this deal possible.
got to mention here, guys, is they got out of the truck. Winston and Ty Dillon had a spirited battle, and it's just Talladega Racing. They got out high five with each other, and these are the two guys battling for the championship, 1 point apart. We've heard from James Busher. Let's hear from Ty Dillon. Winston?
Ty Dillon, 4th place finish today. I know you wanted to come out with a win, as many laps as you led, but knowing how crazy this place can be, talk about your run and your feelings with 1 point lead here.
Yeah, that was a blast. James and I were coming, and I got a little loose behind him with 2 trucks on the outside, and I snagged him and almost wrecked us. I'm glad we finished. That was a blast, though, man. I really enjoyed that. It's the first time I've ever tandem or anything, and definitely like being behind somebody better than out front. But I had a lot of fun. ECR power was great. I got to thank Bass Pro Shops, UNOH, and everybody that helped out. Man, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for the fans for coming out. It was a great crowd, and man, it's Talladega.
Yes, it is Talladega. He comes out with a big smile on his face. He and James Busher gave each other high fives after the race. Swing back to Steve Post with a 5th place finisher.
Young Ryan Blaney, we chatted with you before. You said you talked to your dad. You talked to Brad Keselowski about learning stuff at Talladega. What'd you learn today here, young man?
Man, I learned the ups and downs, highs and lows at Talladega. I mean, we were to the lead and in 25th about 2 times, but really happy to bring this dry tight Ram home in 5th. In my first super speedway race. That was fun. I think if it would have went all the way back to the line, I think me and Kurt might have got there. But a lot of fun, and can't wait till next time I can do it.
We listen on the radio. We talk about it on the radio. As a guy that for his first time sat behind the wheel of one of these trucks at this racetrack, is it what you expected? Is it different from what you expected? How do you paint a picture for our listeners?
You run a lot closer than you think. You're just 3 wide all race, and it's really easy to make a mistake. And it was good that not a lot of people made mistakes today. So I think it was a pretty clean race, but just wish we could have raced to the end there.
You go, Ryan Blaney. First plate finish is 5th, and well, he was hoping for a little more.
Let's go down to Gatorade Victory Lane,
where the Gatorade has absolutely been flying for Parker Kligerman, Chad Kendrick, and this whole Red Horse Racing team. Parker, congratulations. Walk us through not the last lap, but the move that you had to do after changing the battery on pit road and shoving Jason White to get yourself in this position.
Yeah, at that point, it was kind of, go for it time. You had nothing to lose. We've fallen to 39 points out in the championship before this race. It's almost more than a whole race. That is a whole race. We were sitting back there. We had the trouble all day, and I said, what the hell with it? Let's go for it. And Jason was a faster truck, pushed him up to the front. It was all of a sudden we got that caution. We were looking at 5 to go, and thank you to Timothy, and then eventually thank you to Johnny Sauter, who made that possible in the last lap.
You guys had your practices yesterday, qualified this morning. How much did this truck change at all from yesterday in practice to today, or did it change?
Didn't change that much. The only thing that changed is that we probably had no alternator. We had to change the battery. We had a bit of a vibration, so all those things added up that we didn't have yesterday. But overall, this truck actually has won Daytona with Timothy, Daytona with John King, and now Talladega with me. So this is we're gonna have to give this a name here soon because this thing's pretty badass, the Super 2 race.
Just a few weeks ago, you made the move over here at Tom DeLoach's Red Horse Racing team. You've been nothing short of spectacular since then. What's the secret? What's making you guys gel so well together so quickly?
It's good people. And it starts at the top with Tom DeLoach, and from there on down, he assembles a great group of people, a great race team, and it's a great group of people that want to work hard and want to win races, and it shows in the trucks they put on the racetrack, and it shows in the races we put on. And I think, at the end of the day, this whole sport is about people, and we just have great people.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Parker Kligerman, Chad Kendrick, and the rest of this Red Horse Racing team have won at Talladega.
Celebration continues down in Gatorade Victory Lane. Gatorade is the official sports beverage of the Talladega Superspeedway.
Let's take a look at the way they finished here today. Again, Parker Kligerman gets the victory, his first career win in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series after 5 times being a runner-up. And again, that gives us 8 first-time winners this year, breaking a 3-year tie dating back to 95, 97, and 98 when there were 7 first-time winners. And 13 different winners so far in this season. Parker Kligerman with the win. Johnny Sauter comes in second. It's James Busher third. Ty Dillon fourth, and Ryan Blaney fifth. Timothy Peters finishes today in sixth. Seventh went to Kurt Busch. Herman Quiroga finished in eighth. And Tim George Jr., ninth. Cale Gale finishes 10th.
The 11th will go to Ryan Sieg. Brian Silas finished 12th. Cole Witt finished 13th. 14th, Joey Coulter. Norm Benning ran 15th. Clay Greenfield 16th. 17th was Ryan Hackett. In 18th is Jason White, 19th is Matt Crafton, and 20th Miguel Paludo.
Chris Jones was 21st, David Starr 22nd, Rick Crawford 23rd, Justin Lofton finishes 24th, then it's John West Townley in 25th, Eric Almirola 26th, Jennifer Jo Cobb 27th, Ron Hornaday was 28th, Chris Fontaine was 29th, and Donnie Neurenberger finishes 30th. 31st was Nelson Piquet Jr., Johnny Chapman 32nd, Todd Bodine 33rd, Ross Chastain 34th, Mike Harmon 35th, and Brandon Nupp finished in 36th. We had 19 lead changes among 13 different drivers today, and at the finish there were 21 trucks on the lead lap. Again, championship point battle just as it was coming in, at least among the top two. Ty Dillon leads James Busher by just 1 point.